Now, another stunning piece of news today is that illegal immigrants are voluntarily self-deporting themselves in anticipation for Trump's inauguration. Watch.
Trump has promised to carry out the largest deportation operation in U.S. history. And before those operations begin, some migrants are already choosing to leave the country voluntarily. News Nation's Jorge Ventura joins us live from San Antonio, Texas this morning with more on this story. Jorge, how many migrants are we actually seeing doing this, leaving voluntarily?
Right now, Marky, it's unclear, but we are starting to see a trend, and this comes as cities across the U.S. and Mexico are now bracing for President-elect's deportation operation. But his hardline messaging on those deportation efforts have some migrants panicking and some even choosing now to self-deport back to their home countries. I spoke with immigration attorney Rolando Vasquez, who tells me that some of the immigrants that he represents that entered under the Biden administration are now choosing to return home, fearing deportation under the incoming administration.
See, now, if all these people were legitimate asylum seekers and they had legitimate claims to be in this country, they wouldn't be deporting themselves. This just exposes that they were trying to take advantage of the system, and now that somebody's here plugging up the leak, they know that it's time for them to go back home. Because if you get deported, you can never, ever become a U.S. citizen or enter the country again. So it's really in their best interest to get up out of here before ICE has to do it, and then they can try to get in line the legal way and enter this country just like everybody else. Democrats seem to not understand that we have an obligation to be picky about who we let into our country. And a lot of these places where illegal migrants are coming from, remember, it's all over the world. It's not just Mexico or South America. Sometimes they don't have official government records. Sometimes they use fake names. How can you be sure that the person coming into the country isn't a vicious criminal back where he's from? You can't. These things take time. It takes a lot of vetting, a lot of resources. You can't let anybody from anywhere and an uncapped number of them just come into the greatest country in the world and expect for it to stay that way. We have our own problems here domestically, so we certainly can't absorb 20 million people into this country and then figure out how we're going to assimilate them into society and how we're going to take care of them in the meantime.